Blessed good evening, good morning, or good afternoon, whenever you listen to this video, my people. Please, while watching these videos, give it a like, give it a share, and if you're not a subscriber, give it a subscribe. And just go ahead and share with your people, your family, your friends, so more people can listen to these beautiful stories of us growing up in the 70s, the 80s. I want to speak on the topic of the land crabs. There is a part of Jamaica within those days when we were growing up who always wait for the rain, and the rain always comes in May back then, and there is people who are gonna be gearing up with their battle torches, their water boots, and their gloves, and their bag. First, when I started going to crab bush, I used to be a carrier for the bag. Elderly guys picking up the crabs, and you are the little rugrats running around with them in the bushes, and you would carry the bag. Sometimes a crab would claw you in the head if you have the bag on your head, or if you have the bag on your back, depending on how much crabs in the bag. And we used to go into some swamps, and I'm telling you, those swamps were infested with crocodiles. But crocodiles wasn't that plenty like how it is now on the coast of St. Thomas. And there is a place called Allen Bay, round by Duckenfield. You go through the sugar factory, and you go round there in the mangrove, the wetland, and crabs were there. Trust me, lots of crabs. I remember when I was in my teen, maybe about 17, within that time I started having my own bag, looking my own crabs. And we would take crabs off the mangrove, crabs climbing on tree. We always look for the big male crab with a big paw. Yeah, and some people love the female crab because they carry eggs. But growing up in my late teens, I realized that these things are scavengers. And I think I stopped eating crab about 19 to 20 years of age. Yeah. This little story here, this is a part I'm gonna add to this topic, to the story. There was a crab hole down in Bamboo River, down by Mr. Poley Bush. Ones who know the area will know. And there was a crab hole right at the Breadfruit Tree Road. And that time, my wife know we were just young teenagers and loving each other, so we always spend time with each other, go by the beach, go by the river and all of this. And I used to catch a paw every year for her. This crab, I would squeeze up on this crab, and he would be right at the edge of the hole, and I would truck like a goalkeeper, roop and down in the hole. And this crab is so smart. He always turn his paw across, and I would hold on to the paw and trying to get that crab out. And I did it for like 3 years straight, catching just the paw for her. And she would boil that paw with pepper and salt and have the paw, just that big paw. That's something that I had done like 3 years catching this crab, and I never catch that crab. Trust me. But we always go there when crab season and try. Sometimes I'm wondering if it's a different crab or it's the same crab in that hole. But Jamaican, that's a part of our culture, catching crabs. When I reached maybe 19, going to 20, I heard a story about a man went to crab bush, saw a crab, but there was a dead donkey. And the crab run up in the dead donkey rear, and he put the bag at the end of the donkey's bottom in that area, because it was chamba out. And he slapped the belly of the donkey, and by slap the belly of the donkey 3 times, the bag full. When I heard that story, I realized that crab not supposed to eat, because crab are scavenger. Just like my brethren that said, crab a scavenger, fish a scavenger also. Because anything present itself in the ocean, the fish will eat. Another brethren would say, well, I no see heart no leak, but when you say crab liver toilet side, bit toilet, crab would make his hole at the side to make most of the feces. Because crab do eat feces. And that's something nobody can't deny. But you still have people enjoying their crabs. You remember the other day when at Hero Circle with the Alice story about the land crab and she was doing her thing there. They are selling feces. The crab feast on feces. So Jamaicans still eat their crab. Some people still showing their crabs on Facebook and Instagram and when it's crab time. Now the season changed because the rain is not coming in May anymore. The rain is coming later in the year. But trust me, that's part of our culture. Land crab catching and eating. And while I was growing up, I had some experience catching and eating crabs. But when I reached certain age, 19, 20, I just let go of the crab thing because I've gained more knowledge and know that the crab is a scavenger. Yeah, and there's another joke before I go. My grandmother used to buy crab for me and my sister, and we have them in a little drum. That's when I was smaller, and I couldn't go to crab bush because I was a youth, maybe 10, 11. And I remember this lady lived beside us, Miss Nita, her husband named Master John, we call him Chow. And I remember my grandmother was telling me, leave the crabs alone, and I pull off the zinc off the top of the drum and in there with my hand and playing around with the crab. And I tell you, one of the crab itches part to my finger, and I was saying, Chow, 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 squeezing yai, because when you squeeze the eye of the crab will let go of whatever it hold on to. Yeah, so I'm just saying, land crab catching and eating is a part of our Jamaican culture, and I'm sure there's other Caribbean countries that do enjoy crab. And when I go to Kingston, I see crabs every day. Sometimes I'm wondering where these people get these crabs. But I learned that people cultivate them because I saw a thing on the TV once where a guy was cultivating his crab, and I'm not sure if it's Ilangoli right, but some camera people went there, and the next night somebody raided his crab pen where we have his crab raising. So I learned that people raise crab, so maybe that's where they get the crab, to have crab right through the hair selling. But that's a part of our Jamaican culture. Please like, share, and if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe and leave a comment if you please. Mr. Low out.